On September 22, 2004, Oceanic A-15 crashed on what was thought to be a deserted island. On February 2, 2010, in what is certainly not a sideways flash, Jorge Garcia, who plays Hurley on ABC's Lost, took the LA Times on a tour of the island's iconic sights.
It's raining. It's a lovely day for going on a Lost tour. When I painted the Sphinx and Charlie came to visit, and also when Locke showed up to try and get me to come back to the island. We're at the Buddhist temple in the Valley of the Temple. Now, when we shot Lost, the episode House of the Rising Sun, over here was the wedding that the sun was at, that Jin was actually like working as like a catering waiter. We shot some Santa Rosa interiors in this building. This was like the scene where Jack comes to visit Hurley. He's been staring at the wall and telling how he starts to see like Charlie coming to visit him and stuff like that. You can follow, there's a pier out here. There used to be a rooftop on it. That was the pier when Michael took us and gave us up to the others, and he took off on the boat. That's where it was. Okay, so this is season 1. Right about there was the first hole for Hurley's Island Open golf course. We shot, and then the second hole was like over there, and the whole group starts coming up the hill and joining us. That was all this flat area. A lot of cow pies around here, by the way. Yeah. There's the big hill where we started going down where we had to avoid the rocks. And then I think that valley right there is the last part of it, which is the part that I actually got to drive, was going down that smaller hill. Right. And we kind of did a few donuts in that thing. If you look over there.
Oh yeah, that's the footprint?
See the feet prints? Oh, check it.
From Godzilla?
It's Godzilla. It's definitely the best looking location that we ever use. The view is always spectacular. Here we are. This is an area, we call it Boone Hill. That's what we refer to it. This is the graveyard. We built this little fence around it. If you look in the distance, you can see Echo's Church in the background here. And these are all the mounds, which are just kind of grass now to create the illusion. So we lost, the first person we lost was the marshal, but we didn't bury him over here. He was buried somewhere else. But we lost, there's one person who drowned in season 1, and also Scott, or Steve, was killed by Ethan in season 1. We killed Ethan, but I don't remember if we buried him here either or not. What I do know, though, is it goes about Boone, Shannon. I know this one. Okay, this is Ana Lucia. This is definitely Libby. This is definitely Nikki and Paolo together. And then this one was Doug this season, and you'll have to find out who it was for.
Can you sit on it?
When Boone fell on that plane,
Yes.
and they had like a hospital bed for him, and they had this really fake gnarly leg. He put his real leg through this hole.
Shut up.
And the fake gnarly leg.
Oh.
Yeah. So this used to be over at the caves. This is where we brought the lady who came down on the parachute, and we hid her in my tent.
Oh, Neil.
And then here, between these two trees, was Locke's hammock. That really big tent back there, quite bigger than all the other ones, it seems like, was actually like prop storage. It's a way that they could keep like, you know, a bunch of suitcases and blankets and stuff as they would need it, but out of sight. We shot here a lot. This is where we moved to after the tide supposedly goes up. So as you hear, and all along there we shoot like, me and Saeed getting like the radio thing to work so you can play music. All the scenes where someone comes up on someone who's been chopping wood or trying to get into a coconut, you can place them there. This This is part of the Ajira plane that landed roughly on the Hydra Station Island. It's covered right now with tarps because it's been raining on it, and it's mostly made out of foam and wood, so it's not a real plane. Like that, they pretty much carved that whole engine out of wood. I mean, out of foam, pretty much. And then they put some real wheels on it. And they even dug this thing up, because this is what they're going to use as the, when you first shot the landing, a lot of that was done with special effects. But now we need an actual hard plane to play on, so. Okay, so, just kind of like paint a picture. Claire's house blows up. Sawyer runs around the fence, trying to get in. We're in this run, and throw the auto in through here, and they bring Claire inside. This is also where this was Ben's. This is the exterior of Ben's cottage, because he goes down, unleashes the monster, and we run out over here. And from here, on this tree line is where we see the smoke monster taking the whole wet team and just destroying them. And we're like, did you unleash that thing? And we take off running that way. I was walking down here, and this is where Kate duped me into explaining where we were keeping Miles. Yeah, Claire's house was there. They just kind of built a smaller frame of these on the other side of that fence. And that's what they blew up. I think that cabin there, cabin 27 right there, I think that's the cabin that was like the pantry where I was like grabbing food before we went off to sneak away. So this in the 70s, we pull up in the van, we get out and we go to orientation for Dharma. This is also where they held Miles as a prisoner, and it also doubled as the cafeteria where Hurley worked as well.